I am a dreamer, and I dream of providing every single child with a quality education. And now, when I say quality education, I don't just mean providing them a good math teacher, a good science teacher, and a good language teacher and calling it a day. What I really mean is to encourage a system where we introduce great knowledge, great training, and a great mental health support. Every child, all around the world, faces obstacles that seem secondary to adults. But in environments defined by instability, there is a greater threat. In my home and country, Lebanon, in only the past 10 years, we have been through war, armed conflicts, economic crisis, political instability. The president's seat was vacant for multiple years. The COVID pandemic, and the final nail in the coffin, the explosion of the port of Beirut, which was one of the largest non-nuclear blasts recorded in history. Now, I'm not trying to play the victim. The point here is that many populations are going through the same multi-crisis context. And one thing we have in common is resilience. Here in Lebanon, we love to say we are resilient. But I want to ask you, are we really resilient? I'm going to redefine it. It is the ability to successfully adapt to stressors while maintaining psychological well-being and to overcome the stressors. What I see is that we're adapting, yes. But when you're hit crisis after crisis, trauma after trauma, it is hard to maintain the psychological well-being. So what we do is we use defense mechanisms, such as repression and denial, to cope. But when any defense mechanism is overused, it becomes a pathology. So when you put two and two together, you are living in this constant state of multiple crises, trauma after trauma, crisis after crisis, and you're using these defense mechanisms. You are more prone to develop mental health issues such as depression, anxiety, and post-traumatic stress disorder. So the thing is, we're not living, we're more in the state of survival. And when we are surviving, when you're in this survival mode, you don't have time to focus on secondary needs. You focus only on the primary needs, which are bringing food to the table, having a roof over your head. So you forget about them. And you forget about your own mental health and your children's mental health. I'm going to paint a picture for you. Imagine you're standing in a safe environment, whether it is home or something else, and suddenly you're hearing explosions. Suddenly you're hearing military planes flying overhead, breaking the speed of sound. Horrifying sounds. No one is ready to hear them. You are invaded by fear. You might be crying. There are millions of thoughts flying to your head. You might even freeze dead on the ground. Now, I want you to imagine what might go through a child's mind. A child who doesn't even have the same mental defenses as an adult. I have got a glimpse of this idea last summer. I was working with children, and I was responsible of teaching them roller skates, which was a wonderful experience. But as political tensions grew stronger in the region, we started hearing military planes flying overhead and breaking the speed of sound. And for those of you who don't know what that sounds like, it sounds exactly like an explosion. So the first time we heard it while we were working with the children, it was horrible. Some of them started crying. All of them. You could see the fear in their eyes. Some of them froze. They didn't know what to do. Some of them even laughed because laughter is a reaction to stress. So we grouped them up and calmed them down as much as possible. And then a few of them came to me and said something I never expected to hear out of a 10-year-old mouth. The first one came and said, "Coach, are we going to die?" The second one said, "Coach, can you please keep playing after we go to heaven?" And the last one said, "Coach, Thank you so much for teaching us rollers before we die. I can easily say this has forever changed me. I have always believed that the only way to truly make a change in society was through education. I have always believed that the only way to truly make a change was through children's mental health, because one day they are going to be responsible for our world's development. So I'm here to tell you, we need to make systemic change. We need to develop programs to take care of children's mental health. And it can be in the smallest things. And every adult is concerned. I'm talking parents, school staff, teachers, and many more. All of us, we are all responsible. We must all take a stand for what we believe in. A child in a time of crisis does not need a wall. He needs the loving and the caring and the attention, the human connection. In schools, for example, you can introduce communication. Allow them to talk about their emotions and expressions and what they have experienced. That will allow them not only to validate their own emotions, but to validate others' emotions. If they still have a hard time communicating, art and creativity is a great tool for children. You can encourage them to paint, to draw, to do theater. You can even bring in experts like psychologists who will come and explain what they are feeling and how to manage it. Now, as for the parents, first of all, I want to thank you all for the amazing job you have been doing of raising children in this very hard context. And I'm sure you all know how the smallest thing can be so important. Like asking them about their day. Whenever they come back from school or from playing with their friends, ask them, how was your day? Not only will you build a safe environment for them to express themselves, but also you will help them understand what is going on. Because, my dear parents, you are your child's mirror to this world. They learn how to act and how to feel by mimicking you. So they don't need a wall. They need someone who will feel and who will show them how to understand and how to go through these tough times that we are all living. If they are having difficulties expressing their emotions, there are ways like showing them images of sadness and joy. They can point to it and express themselves very easily that way. And even playing with other children will help them. They learn from them too. Look, I know many of you may think I am naive, but I'm not reinventing the wheel. What I'm talking about has been proven. And if you wanted statistics, in 2023, in Lebanon, 4 out of 10 households reported that their children had anxiety. And 10% reported that their children had depression. And for more perspective, the CDC has said that 10% of children in the United States are diagnosed with anxiety and 4% are diagnosed with depression. The point here is that we need to make a change. So if I can at least leave you with this idea. My fellows, stand up for what you believe in. Let's all break the cycle. You need to take care of your own mental health and to take care of your children's mental health. Because one day, they are going to be taking over this world. So they are the key for a better future. And here's a quote I like. I think it was from L.R. Nost. I'm paraphrasing here. She said, "We are not raising children to face a cruel and heartless world. We are raising them to change this cruel and heartless world." Thank you.